Well, one of the things I'm trying to address is that we all bring gifts to the table.
That's correct.
And, you know, whether instinctually we're connected to our heritage, there's a part of it that comes through it in our personalities and the way we treat one another.
That's correct.
And one of the things I'd like to address is in your book, tell me a little bit about how you wanted the public to understand the Mexican-American experience here in Muskegon, as well as the evolvement, how people are changing, and you know, your children have grown up, other people have gone on to roles of distinction in the community, and it's a chance to recognize one another in dignity.
And that's the reason that we did this book, was because, like I said, I've been here since I was 3 years old. Did I have a great life? Yes. Did I have a happy life? Yes. Did I suffer? Off and on. Because when I was going to school, I caught tuberculosis. They thought I was pregnant because I got all bloated, but it was water in the lungs. And at that time, there was a lot of tuberculosis, okay? Mm-hmm. And there was a tuberculosis sanatorium here. And just about everybody, and if you read the book, it tells about the health reason. And that's the whole thing with everybody, with health reasons, different things. But I never felt that I was discriminated against here. I never felt bad. And when you're talking about Muskegon, that's why I'm saying I don't think we felt it as much as other towns have. Did we want to say something about Muskegon? Yes, because everybody that's in this book, again, we lived here, we worked here, we grew up, and yet we thought, there's never thinking of leaving heritage or history, okay? Was it important? Yes, it was important for us to learn and to go on and not forget. But did we ever really say, hey, we've contributed to Muskegon, we worked here, we lived here, our kids are going to school, what is in here about Muskegon? So we checked to see, and there was nothing. Nothing about Latinos any place. There was 2 books, and they showed very little. And the reason for this book is because I had gone to a showing about coming to Muskegon. And at the time, it was beautiful. I mean, it showed coming to Muskegon, the beautiful lakes, the works and everything, Hackley home, the different things. I said, the library, they were all from rich people that had been here in Muskegon, that had made a name for themselves. But anyhow, I thought, well, I'm gonna go see. So when I saw that there was no Latinos or African Americans, there was one watching, and there was the American Indians because they were the first ones here, but nothing. So I went to see the museum. Went to the library first, there was nothing there. One small book. I went to community college and there was just the same book. So I went to the museum to see what was at the museum. And John Garrett from the Muskegon Community Museum was walking with me, and Mary McDonald. And because after I left social services, I worked at the Community Foundation as a VISTA volunteer. And so Mary and I went to the museum, and John McGarry was taking us around. And I was saying, yeah, John, you know, I'm coming because I didn't see nothing in that video that you showed, and I thought it was great. I said, but I didn't see any Latinos in there. And he says, well, Connie, I don't have that much about Latinos. And I thought to myself, well, isn't that strange? He said, but let's go looking. So here we are looking after the 50th year that they were showing the industry about the camel whining cannon and that. And so we're going on, and I stopped and got chills because on this wall was a picture of my father at Campbell Wine and Cannon, working in the factory. And I started crying, and Mary McDonald, everybody who knows Mary McDonald, she has her doctorate, and she got her master's. Now she's working in California. She was here, and she worked at Everyone's Place. She was the director there for a while. Then she went to Grand Valley, and now she's in California. She said, yeah, Connie, all the Mexicans look alike. And I said, Mary, that's not true, but that is my father. And John, I asked him, I said, where'd you get my dad's picture? He said that was one of the foundry workers. He didn't know it was my dad either. It was just a picture from the factory that they put up. And so then I said, well, it's gonna be done. And Mary McDonald said, okay, and John McGarrett said the same thing. So we had our first meeting there to see, because we have contributed a lot. And when you're talking about culture and history and that, there's so many things now. I mean, you know, you think of this restaurant. In the beginning, there was only a couple of Mexican restaurants. Now there's around 4 or 5 Mexican restaurants. Okay? This is a new one, and I'm grateful that Los Amigos are here. Do they bring our culture? Yes, they bring mariachis to play, and they come and listen. The other restaurants, some of them do too. But that's how the book started, because there was nothing that we could sing. So then we got together, and all the same ones that lived together at La Colonia, Ryerson Heights, we got together and we got pictures and we got different things. Mary left, so we couldn't do it. And I thought to myself, who's gonna help me? And so then Mary McDonald said Dr. Dan Yates, who was a historian at community college and was retiring. So the good thing about it is that we got a special grant to write this book because everybody wanted to bring pictures and tell them of the ones that helped and were here. And there was so many stories of different things that some of us didn't remember, the other one remembered, okay? And that's how this book started. To leave a little bit of our history, a little bit of our culture, and a little bit of everything that we felt that when we got here and how much it's grown. On the book, it also tells about our kids and our grandkids that are now graduating, have masters and bachelors, are dentists, nurses, male and female, which you didn't see that much before. The male was the one that did the work, went to work, brought the check home, and the mother would stay home. Nowadays, both of you have to work in order to make it a nice living. But at the time, that was one of our goals, to get our kids an education, to go on, to push them, to show that they could do it. And out of just about everybody from La Colonia that's in this book, a lot of them went on to school. A lot of them, their kids, their children, which it would be the second generation, have gone on to college, have become counselors, have become doctors, nurses. Right here in Muskegon, you couldn't see that before. And like I said, if there was only 1 or 2 teachers, that's all there was. And they worked hard and they were older when they got it. Nowadays, we've got teachers, nurses and that are not even in their 30s yet, that have gone on to school and have gotten this. You know, it's amazing. And it's all due to education and being here in Muskegon.
Well, thank you for writing this book, and I want the public to definitely know about this. We're going to take another break, and I want to talk a little further about how that led people like you to also evolve and grow as part of the fabric of this community, and people who started businesses here in the community, and we'll get into that in the next section. So stay with us on In Their Own Words.